list. The winner of the day will be announced on the Sunset Lounge at 5 p.m. every weekday. Watch Bethany TV and win big. Bethany TV for health.
You're so much welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in Bethany TV. My name is Giftina Kainga and you are watching the Nutrition Spot. Well, we believe that nutrition is key in transforming our lives. So if you're out there and you just eat to live or you eat to survive, I think it's time for you to tune your mind to having whatsoever you eat, in the sense of I want to transform my life. So we are joined by a team of experts from Zambia, and we want to understand so many things about nutrition, but in this particular show we're going to try to understand maternal nutrition. Why is it important for a woman to feed the right way when they are pregnant, or when they are planning to get pregnant, or even after giving birth? Would you want still to just feed anyhow after giving birth, or you'd want to have a particular diet, or would you just want to feed anyhow before you get pregnant, or even during your pregnancy, or you would need to take precautions of how you eat, how you feed, and all other things? So allow me at this point of time to invite my guests. Daniel, I want to welcome you so much, and Faith, you're so much welcome. Thank you for accepting our invitation. We are Bethany TV for health. So Daniel, to our viewers, I know so many nutritionists are watching. Greetings to them.
Thank you so much, my sister Gift and my sister Faith. I am Roma Daniel Henry. I am a nutritionist. You can get me at the Department of Nutrition Sciences and Dietetics, Jambo University. And I think, as a matter of introduction, that's all I can say for now.
Thank you so much. Faith, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much, Kate.
To our viewers that are watching the program, would you want to say hello to them?
Yes, I'd like to say hello to everyone. You're welcome to the Nutrition Spot. I'm Faith Alenyo, a nutritionist at Zambia Hospital, and we have a lot in store for you.
Thank you so much, Faith. We believe that during pregnancy, a woman's body undergoes remarkable changes to support the growth and development of the baby. So at this point of time, we want to really understand the impact of nutrition on the side of the mother and also the side of the baby. If you are watching us on YouTube, we are Bethany TV. So make it a point to subscribe, and also make it a point to put in your comments or your submissions about our topic of discussion tonight. If you are on Facebook, do the same. You can also follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. Do not forget that we're having different programs as Bethany TV. So if there is any question that is being asked on our different social media platforms, or even during the different shows that we do have, and you are maybe amongst the first 20 people that answer that particular question, we promise to give you, I wouldn't say whatever gift you want, but you're going to be winning a number of prizes, including money, caps, t-shirts, and so many other things. So be very keen and be very intentional watching Bethany TV. If there is any question during this show, I'm going to ask a particular question. So if you are watching us, you can, maybe be among the people that are going to be winning cash during the course of the week, maybe next week or over the weekend. You never know. So talking maternal nutrition, we want to understand the nutritional status of women in Uganda. What are the statistics like? Are women complying to feeding the right way when they are pregnant? Anyway, we just eat to live and to survive. I'll go to Faith. You are a woman, and I'm not going to ask whether you've ever given birth or not, But what do you think? Do you think we are taking precautions, or you can just take us through the thorough nutritional status of women in Uganda?
All right, thank you so much, Gift. Once again, I'm Faith. So currently in Uganda, according to the MyCan targets for 2030, we haven't yet achieved the nutrition targets that we had, especially for the women that are of reproductive age. At the moment, we haven't yet achieved 50% of reduction in anemia in women who are of reproductive age. And we also haven't yet achieved the 50% reduction of stunting in young children. Yeah. So currently in Uganda as a nation, I think we still have a long way to go before we can finally achieve the nutrition targets that we actually have set for us. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Faith. Daniel, what do you have to say?
Yes, thank you. First of all, to introduce the whole thing, we need to understand that the women watching out there, the fact is that women have unique nutritional needs. And our focus is more on women of reproductive age, because you realize that these women, they give rise to another generation.
True.
There is someone very important going to come out, my sisters here, and many other out there. So that is why we focus so much on what are they eating, and are they eating adequately or not. Of course, other country, the situation is not good, because if we look at reports, of course we get our evidences from the studies that are done out there. If you look at reports like, let's say in regards to anemia, a report from the UDHS, or the Uganda Demographic and Health Survey, which was done in 2016, shows that of course around 32% of the women are still anemic. This has implications during pregnancy that we are going to discuss here. And then if you look also in other reports, we are trying to say that around 41% of women are having high hip-waist ratio, or even waist circumference. You see that? And having high waist circumference, we know very well that exposes women to what we are calling the metabolic disorders. We talk of diabetes.
What do you mean by high waist circumference?
The waist circumference. Of course, the waist circumference, the circumference is just that English, we know. But, you know, there is during assessment, we use a tape measure to measure the what? The waist circumference. And there is a cutoff we use. So, of course, studies have shown that most women of reproductive age in Uganda, and this one is worth in women, of course, above 50 years, but if our focus is for women of reproductive age, we are saying that they're literally having high waist hip ratio, and also women, the overweight women are also on the increase. You see, now I think we are lying at around 25% of women in the whole country. Of course, even worse in Kampala. Kampala talks about, I think, 34% of women in Kampala are overweight.
Yeah.
What is that going to do for the future? You realize that if we don't work on this is going to be a problem.
True.
Because this has implications during pregnancy, and it affects the outcome. So for that case, it is really good that we are having this discussion, and we're having many women there going to listen to this, and or are listening to this, and they will therefore, we may not provide all the solutions, yeah?
Sure.
But I always say that Uganda is currently training a number of nutrition professionals. Chambogo University has a whole department for nutritional sciences and dietetics.
Yeah,
We shall get
You get
there.
that? So that means, what I'm trying to say is that there are professionals out there
That are
they
coming out to
nutritionists.
help
They
the
are
situation.
not only coming out, but they are those ones who are already, they are out and they are helping. These are the right people. If you really need something on diet during pregnancy, you'll have to reach out to them.
Thank you so
But
much,
there's a lot,
Daniel.
really. Yes, thank you.
So we believe also Uganda as a country has put up different policies, and we have the nutrition policy in Uganda. I don't know whether Faith will make us understand whether it's very practical in Uganda, but there are policies that have been put in place, and some of the principles in those policies, we have that adequate food and nutrients is a human right. So if he mentions that women are maybe at the age of different conditions because of not managing their nutrition, then that's a very huge problem. But let's go to the point of understanding the impact of nutrition on the health of the mother and then on the health of the baby. So back to you, Daniel.
Of course, the impact of poor nutrition, I would call it in a simple word, on the mother. Let's say, maybe, let me start with, our focus is most times on anemia. Poor nutrition may lead to what we are calling the low blood levels. In simple terms, of course, we talk of blood cells that really transport is oxygen. That is a lot of science. But for now, in a layman's understanding, we talk of low blood levels. This has implications, and this can result from poor nutrition or not following some of these small steps of supplementation, taking your iron folic acid supplements. So this has implications, of course. This, first of all, if a woman doesn't feed well, let's say during pregnancy, what happens? One is that either you are going to have pregnancy-related complications. Example, there's what we call preeclampsia and eclampsia. This one is basically increase in high blood pressure during pregnancy. Pregnancy-related what? Hypertension. This can result from, of course, I can say poor nutrition in simple terms. Then another thing is pregnancy-related diabetes is there. This is a key issue. And all these things may lead to complications like there's what we call preterm birth, when you give birth before 37 weeks. And then another thing is, which is also a very serious issue, is what we are calling the neurotube defect. This is to the what? To the newborn baby. You can give birth to a baby with complications.
Yeah.
That is why, and really the issues are many. And that is why it is very important that we have focus on nutrition during pregnancy, even before pregnancy. We talk of before pregnancy nutrition, and we talk of during pregnancy, and we are going to discuss more. So thank you for that. My colleague may add more.
So Faith, we believe that there are key components of maybe a health lifestyle that is before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and maybe after pregnancy.
Yeah.
So what do you think that a woman that is out there should consider as a health lifestyle if they are preparing to get pregnant and even during the course of the pregnancy?
Thank you. So to women out there, if you're preparing to get pregnant or you're already in the course of your pregnancy, these are the tips that I can give you to have a healthy baby. First of all, for the women that are preparing to get pregnant, I would say you need to change your lifestyle. And changing your lifestyle begins with the mind. So you make up your mind and say that, okay, I want to change my lifestyle, I want to live a healthy lifestyle, and I want to have a healthy baby. That's where it all starts, at the mindset. And then the next thing you need to change is your diet, because that's the most important part, your diet. So when we talk about diet, we're talking about a diet, a balanced diet that is rich in nutrients, talking about carbohydrates. This includes things like sweet potatoes, rice, things like, the carbohydrates are usually starches, fiber foods, and then we also have proteins. Protein foods are the ones that in Luganda we call it enva. Things like beans, things like eggs, things like peas, beef, chicken, liver, and then we also have vegetables, fruits and vegetables. That's usually one area that I would say is usually lacking in most people's diets. Most people tend to consume more of the proteins and carbohydrates, and then they leave out the fruits and vegetables. And yet these are the most important things that you need in your diet, because it's going to provide you with the key nutrients that you need in your diet. Yes. So the key nutrients that we usually need in a pregnancy, we have things such as iron. Iron is one of the biggest key nutrients that you need when you're preparing for pregnancy and during pregnancy. Why? This is because iron usually helps with formation of blood in the baby. And usually after pregnancy, after you give birth, the mother, the iron stores of the mother is what the baby comes out with. Yes, so there is in breast milk during breastfeeding, the amount of iron is very insignificant. It's too low in that the amount of iron that the baby comes out with, that's the iron the baby has for the first 6 months. So it's important that you start your iron early before you even start the pregnancy. And then usually during pregnancy, we have the supplements that they give women. It's a must for you to receive iron and folic acid. And here in Uganda, I know that they get the FEFO.
Yeah.
It's called FEFO.
Yeah, FEFO or folic.
Yeah, it's a combination of iron and folic acid. So the folic acid, usually, some women may ask, why am I taking the folic acid? Folic acid is very vital in preventing the neurotube defects that Roma talked about.
What if someone convinces you and then they're like, you know what, doctor, for me, I'll try to get maybe like foods or that are rich in this kind of nutrient. What do you advise?
Yes, so usually the foods that are rich in folate, we have things such as eggs, we have the green leafy vegetables. So I usually advise people to have vegetables as an important part of your diet because that's where most of the key nutrients come from. The fruits and the vegetables. I'd also advise women to avoid things like alcohol when you're trying to conceive. Alcohol, smoking.
When you are trying or even after?
even after you conceive.
Yeah,
yes, because this usually affects the process of conception and it also affects the process of pregnancy. If you're taking alcohol when you're pregnant, then you may have poor birth outcomes. Yes,
I think the defects that you mentioned.
That's true.
Of
course, that lifestyle, it's very important. I said when you're preparing or you are in this age bracket, the reproductive age.
Tell us the reproductive.
Of course, we say 15 years to 49 years, the women of reproductive age.
Yeah.
You need to really know the lifestyle you're living because afterwards, you are going to give birth to someone who is going to be important to the nation.
Yeah.
And if you're pregnant, there's what we call intrauterine growth retardation. And it has great implication because if the fetus inside there doesn't develop well, you will actually give birth to, I can say, a low weight baby. And from there, it has many implications, not only during childhood, even when they are adults. So for that case, that's why it's really very important that you take these quick messages and many more that you would really go out there and take. Of course, this message, when we are talking of foods, for us nutritionists, we believe food is medicine.
True. Because
it's a preventive medicine. When you go to take the capsules out there, the drugs, for us, we know you are managing a condition that is sick care. So that means, in this case, we provide the right medicine, the preventive medicine for you. So for that case, it looks like something very obvious. And most assumption is that anyone else knows what to eat.
True.
But it looks like we are messing up. The world is moving in an angle whereby we have believed that we have failed with our assumed understanding of knowing what to eat.
Yes.
Now that is why we have professionals that guide on actually what to eat.
Thank you so much. There is something that Faith you mentioned about breastfeeding mothers that usually the folic acid the babies are born with in the first 6 months, actually they survive on that for the first 6 months. So what are some of the dietary recommendations you will or requirements you would advise a woman that is breastfeeding to concentrate on to?
Yeah, so the nutrient is actually iron. Yes. So the iron that the baby comes out with for the first 6 months, that's the iron that the baby's body is going to be using. Yes. So usually I advise women when you're pregnant, consume a lot of iron containing foods. These are the dark green leafy vegetables, things like red meat. Yes. And then usually when people are consuming these foods, there are two types of iron. We have the heme iron and then we have the non-heme iron. So the non-heme iron comes from plant sources. And this non-heme iron is in a form that the body cannot easily absorb. So usually I advise people to take things containing vitamin C, That is things like your juice, your fruit juice. Can be a glass of orange juice after you've had a bowl of vegetable salad or something. That helps your iron to be used by the body. Yes, so when the baby comes out, that iron that the baby has is what the baby has until the 6 months, and then after 6 months they start the diets, the other diets, where you can incorporate more foods containing iron. Yes, so I would say the mother has to focus on having more of the iron containing foods during her pregnancy, because after pregnancy, during lactation, even if you consume a lot of foods with that iron, it's not really going to do anything. Yes, because the baby already has the iron that it came out with.
Okay, so we do not have any particular foods that we need during breastfeeding?
So during breastfeeding, the calories increase. So you need about 500 calories during breastfeeding.
What
That's
do you
from
mean
energy-giving
calories?
foods.
Okay.
Yeah, the carbohydrates that we talked about. Things like rice, things like sweet potato, things like Irish potatoes, things like the matoke. And then we also have the proteins are still important during breastfeeding because your body is still healing up. Yes, and then we also have the things like the fruits and the vegetables that I would still encourage people to keep on consuming because they have different nutrients that your body needs. Things such as vitamin K, which is actually found in the breast milk. Yes, it has the vitamin K, which is found in the breast milk that the baby can receive through the mother. And then another thing is the vitamin C.
Okay.
It usually boosts the immunity. So the baby can also get that through the breast milk.
There is also, you mentioned that if you are planning to get pregnant, you should avoid like smoking, taking alcohol, talking of the health lifestyle. But then what are some of those specific foods that one should avoid? Foods that if they are planning to get pregnant, they should avoid, or even during pregnancy?
Okay, that's a good question. So usually during pregnancy, it's important to avoid foods that are high in mercury. This is especially for our brothers and sisters that are living in overseas, especially the mothers. Yes, so foods that are high in mercury usually brings about birth defects.
What are some of those foods? Because if you
So
say
that's
that
things
foods
like
that are rich
tuna.
Tuna?
Yes, things like tuna. So usually
Tuna,
here in Uganda,
even me personally, I do not know tuna.
Okay.
you know the tin foods that people buy in the supermarket?
Because of
Maybe
that, I would be
those
like,
are-
what is tuna?
Okay, maybe in
It's a type of
maybe
fish.
To simplify it, to Ugandanize it,
Yeah.
if we are to say really what you should avoid when you're pregnant, then one thing, I'm a very good advocate for food safety. And you know, during pregnancy, we usually say you need to avoid most of the raw foods. Let's say unpasteurized milk. When I say unpasteurized milk, I say that milk which is really not boiled, not cooked. That is what you need to avoid, because of course it contains some other bacteria that would really
Listeria.
it would really expose you to food poisoning.
Yeah.
And then the fruits and vegetables, if you're consuming, it should be washed.
Yeah.
You see that it should be really hygienic enough for you to consume it as a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
Then we also say foods that are high in of course she's talking of caffeine. We are talking of also highly sugary foods, sugar sweetened beverages. Of course, many studies have shown that it has implications or negative consequences during pregnancy. Once you consume too much of this sugar sweetened beverages. We have the soda, you know them. There are many there in market. Then another thing would be highly salty food. We talked of preeclampsia. This would be really one of the risk factors for you having pregnancy-related hypertension, if you engage in these poor lifestyles of really consuming highly salty foods. Of course, someone may say we're talking a lot of the nutrients, but I think time will come that the general population will understand when we talk of proteins, because I don't know how it is in Luganda or in my language, but we normally give the examples to simplify it. Yeah, so really there is a lot more, And
Faith, he talks about the high salty foods that are predispose someone to preeclampsia.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say about, like, maybe we would want to relate with them after maybe you mentioning some of the examples.
Yeah.
okay, maybe I can even bring the examples, by the way, before we go far. Of course.
Before we come back to me.
Yeah, you know, we have the people like crisps.
Okay.
They're there in
That is
supermarkets.
crisps,
They're there in supermarkets. You can easily get them. They actually there's a lot of added salt. You see, some of the things we actually know them and we consume them. Then there are some snacks. Sometimes they sell them by the roadside. Added salt, raw salt. Talking about it, and this is not only for pregnant or these women of reproductive age. This is for the general population. So yeah, I know my sister will have more. She's a woman. You people know what she really.
We're just going to go into a break, and maybe when we come back, Faith, you'll just add up from there the ideal foods that we really are supposed to eat during pregnancy. The ideal that we are supposed to eat during pregnancy, and maybe what are some of the key nutrients that are important for a woman, and why are they really so much important? So if you are watching us on YouTube, do not forget to put your comments or your submissions. We are Bethany TV on YouTube, so kindly go there and also make it a point to subscribe. The same on Facebook, you like and follow, and also you can follow us on Instagram, you can follow us on Twitter. We shall be so much grateful. So we're going to go into a very quick short break. We shall come back.
Bethany TV for health. Every day at lunchtime, we bring you back-to-back inspirational music videos. You request your favorite gospel music video and we play it on the playlist. To request, go to our socials, Facebook, Bethany TV UG, and Twitter at Bethany TV. Like and follow, then type the name of the song in the comment section of the playlist post of the day. Chicago Med Season 2. The emotional thrill ride through the day-to-day chaos of the city's most explosive hospital continues. Going face to face with unique new cases inspired by topical events. Chicago Med Season 2, showing Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Repeats Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. here on Bethany TV for health. Are you ready for this good news? You can now watch Bethany TV on Yo TV, AfroMobile, and Airtel TV apps. Yes! Catch the finest programming prescription for everybody, wherever you are, whenever you are. Bethany TV for health. Your perfect ignition for the day's inspiration prescription is on the Healthy Morning. Start your day informed about top stories, health, tech, and travel news as we give you the day's weather and traffic, business analysis, and sports updates. Healthy Morning, every weekday at 6:30 a.m. on Bethany TV. Bethany TV for health. Win, win, win! Win a Bethany t-shirt and cap, cash, and other prizes. Just answer our question of the day every time the presenter asks the question of the day, or when you see it, be among the first 20 people to respond on our social media platforms. Make sure you like and follow our Facebook and Twitter pages at Bethany TV Uganda. Then post the right answer in the comment section, providing the time the question was asked on Bethany TV, the program, and the show presenter that asked the question. Was it on the Healthy Morning, on Be Hopeful, or the playlist? The winner of the day will be announced on the Sunset Lounge at 5 p.m. every weekday. Watch Bethany TV and win big. Bethany TV, for health.
TV for health. Those that are watching us on YouTube, you are doing a great job. Esther and Daniel, thank you so much. Well, earlier when we were going into our break, we were emphasizing the point of those particular things that you should eat, yeah, and those that you shouldn't. And they mentioned about the salty kinds of eats that we maybe get on the road, and then those that are so much interested into what we call them, the crisps, you know, those the snacks. I have people that are so much enjoy the snacking by now, and I believe they are ideal foods that we have talked about. But we would also want to go deep into the cultural beliefs. We believe that also our cultures influence the way these women make choices. So I'm going back to your Faith to help us understand this cultural aspect if it comes to nutrition, because in some cultures they will tell you a woman shouldn't eat this, shouldn't do this, and if you are pregnant you're not supposed maybe to eat this and that and that. So how would you talk to someone out there and they may be in our cage of this is what culture says?
Okay. So usually in different cultures, they have different beliefs that people believe in. You may find that in some cultures, they don't allow the women to eat eggs when they're pregnant because they believe that the eggs may cause a certain kind of reaction or something. They have those myths that they have. And then in some cultures, women are advised to eat certain kinds of things, especially herbal medicines. They tell them that these are going to help the baby, they're going to help the mother do this, do that. So usually, for me, what I would say to a pregnant mother that has come to me and is asking for advice about the cultural things that she has been advised to eat or not to eat, I will say that if it has a nutritional benefit to you, then you should definitely take it. If it has a nutritional benefit, this is things, edible food substances. If it's eggs, the eggs, you need the eggs, the nutrients in the eggs that you need in your body. If it's beans, eat the beans. Yes. But if it's things like, oh, they've told you to take the mumbwa, it usually doesn't have any nutritional significance. So
the
I would
mumbwa doesn't
say,
have.
no, it
It's
usually
like every
doesn't have.
woman takes the
So it's usually due to cravings.
Oh.
Yeah. Mumbwa, then the boomba, then some women eat soil. Those are usually due to the cravings. Yes, so I would say to deal with the cravings, get something that you can put your mind to, something that can put your mind away from the craving. Do an activity. Maybe go do some exercise, get a healthy snack, cut a fruit, eat a fruit, take some fresh juice. Do something that can help you put your mind away from that. Yes, and then for certain other things that you may not be so clear about, you can consult with the health worker. You can go to your doctor, your gynecologist, talk to them, tell them, this is what I've been told to drink. Is it safe for me? Or you can look for a nutritionist and we can give you expert advice.
Thank you so much, Daniel. What do you have to say about, do you have any cultural beliefs that you know about?
Oh, before you even go far, what is mumbwa?
Huh? Mumbwa.
Mumbwa.
Mumbwa is what? Yeah, it's a mumbwa.
Soil.
Okay, it's soil, right? Okay, I understand.
Very soil.
You know, nature has its ways of doing things. If you are not really feeling well as a woman, that is why it will drive you to eating soil. Of course, it is believed that it has iron. So there is that belief. I think there's a science behind it. So that is, but that shows you already that you are not consuming enough foods containing iron. So now
If you have the cravings,
such a craving.
okay.
Someone once said that. So for that case, I would explain it that way. You should know that you are missing something. You see that, and that is why you go into what, to eat the what, the soil. So, but of course, You know, with the safety issues nowadays, things are complicated. But of course, now we are talking about other cultural beliefs or these belief systems that may influence the diet of a pregnant woman. Of course, you know, it looks like science invalidated many cultural belief systems. Because those days, as she was saying, women should not eat chicken, pregnant women should not do this and that. Science came in to invalidate these belief systems, because we have now realized that these things are beneficial to what? To mothers. And that is why we always say, before you do what you do what you have heard, hear it from what? A specialist. And there's now a problem in Uganda that there are also people who just come in and make people believe so much
and
that
they become specialists.
Yeah,
but maybe from that very point, can you, because we talked about, we started asking ourselves about the nutritional status, like maybe the statistics amongst women in Uganda, and also we talked about the different policies and the national nutrition policy. It states that food is a national strategic resource, but also we believe that women do not have enough information to making these informed choices if it comes to what they're supposed to eat and what they're not supposed to eat. Because of the survival for the fittest in our families, whatever is there, you'll have to feed on that, whether you're pregnant or you are planning to get pregnant or you are not pregnant. So help us understand, what do we have any resources or any support systems that are put in place to help our women make informed decisions if it comes to maternal nutrition?
Okay, thank you for that question. Of course, in regards to talk of nutrition policy, of course, that is still a complicated angle. In regards to Uganda, we have documents and others are still being worked on. So I will not say something like a policy is solid. But of course, we have what we call the MICAN guidelines. It's called the Maternal, Infant, Young Child and Adolescent Nutrition Guidelines. So, and the Ministry of Health, so the Nutrition Division, is doing much work in this regard. They are down there in the communities and teaching women on what to eat, the value of taking in this folic acid, is it the FEFA you talk of? The supplementation. And there's a lot being done out there. But now, we cannot say that's enough. You know, learning is something, it's an everyday process. You'll teach today, and the next week people are forgotten again. So this is supposed to be a continuous process. Because can you imagine? I know the students out there will understand this question that normally comes. Why is it that the folic acid supplementation program is on the, like it's there being enrolled in Uganda, but I mean anemia is on the increase. Why? If we consider statistics from 2011 to 2016, we find that anemia increased. Why? Yet there is the folic acid supplementation. So now that comes to other issues. Could be at the household level. Could be that these women are taking these things and they're going to throw it away. Could be that there are other issues regarding malaria. There could be other causes of anemia. So, of course, now you have asked of other support system may also be beyond the health ministry or the medical fraternity. It may be at the family level.
Maybe right now, I think we can look at the family level and look at the different strategies that can be implemented to promote healthy eating habits if it comes to expecting mothers or women.
Good.
Faith.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you so much. And just to supplement on Daniel's point, another key important thing for pregnant women is usually the antenatal care. Whenever they go for antenatal care, they're given this information that they need to know about the diets they should be following, and also the supplementations that they need, the importance of this towards them and their growing baby. Now going back to the family level, I think to support pregnant women get the amount of nutrients that they need, it can start with they can have a specialized meal for the pregnant mother.
A
specialized meal for the pregnant mother. Say if it's in a home where they usually eat portion beans every day. Let's start from there. They can say that, okay, we are going to have extra foods added specifically for the pregnant mother so she can get these nutrients. How? The father can come back one day with vegetables. He can come back with fruit.
Not only one
for
day.
the child. Yes.
Not only one day.
Not only one day. It has to be a continuous process. So that's how you begin. You incorporate the vegetables into the mother's diet. Then after the vegetable, also incorporate the fruits into the mother's diet. And another important thing to note is the way the foods are prepared. So usually we have the foods, but we don't know how to prepare them. We prepare them in such a way that the nutrients get lost during the preparation. So I think that's also another key thing. We would need to educate most of these mothers on how to prepare foods in such a way that you maintain most of the nutrients so you're able to get the benefit out of that food. Yes.
Thank you so much. We also have our attendants, or maybe I would say women after giving birth, they somehow somewhere they be like as if they've gotten sick or something, like, because now if they are pregnant they're really feeding well, they're minding almost everything, then after giving birth everything changes. So what do you have to say about that?
So I would say even after giving birth you still need to maintain a healthy diet. Why? Because you're breastfeeding and your body is still using up the nutrients and the energy and everything that you're putting in. It's focusing it on giving the baby through the milk. And then also after pregnancy, remember your body is in this state of healing. It's still healing. And usually during pregnancy, if the mother doesn't have enough nutrients in her body, the body is going to take those nutrients out and give them to the baby. So that is what would usually bring about that issue of feeling sick after the pregnancy. It's probably because during the pregnancy your nutrition wasn't right, and so your body used up your stores and gave them to the baby. Yes. So I would say that still you go back to your diet. You need to eat a balanced diet.
Thank you so much, Faith. We believe that understanding and addressing the nutritional needs of mothers is so much vital. It's a step towards ensuring the well-being of the future generation. That's just like Daniel said, that we are, you know, we contribute so much to this country, to actually to the entire world. So our time is running so fast. We would want to talk about maternal nutrition over and over, and I believe men out there are like, but you've not talked about what a man is supposed to eat. When the woman is pregnant, I don't know, are men also supposed to be treated a particular way, or
maybe
anyway, actually, I just need to add a little on what she was saying. You know, she pointed out on that aspect that you ask about mothers after giving birth. Of course, that's what we call maternal depletion.
Yeah.
You see, depletion may not be just in, it may be seen in many things, or it may show in many aspects, like the hormonal beat is low, then someone is even the milk let down is low. So and all the other symptoms that she was trying to bring up. But of course, that is one thing that surfaces as a result of poor nutrition during pregnancy, when the body is not having enough reserves. So that has to be taken care of, and it's something important. About you're talking about the men.
The men. With the men.
You know, with the men, I would really just say that we need to feed healthy. That is the most important thing. There is no difference between what we have been discussing about women and men. It applies both, because we all need these values which are in food. So, but the reason why we keep reminding the women of what to eat, it's because of what we have said. You get that? Of course, you'll say, yeah, you know, a man also gives in something for something to come out. So shouldn't that thing be of quality? But of course, I realize that when we consider really statistics, we find that women are at risk. You get that? Because of most of these the exposures based on poor, that comes out with what? Poor diet. So they are more at risk. That's why we may focus more on the women. But the fact is, it's all the same for men. We all have to eat healthy or adequately to live healthy.
Thank you so much. Now, on that very point, earlier you mentioned when we were starting that women have become like obese. They have become like so many things that are not good. So, does someone putting on a lot of weight before getting pregnant does it affect the pregnancy?
Yes, it affects the pregnancy because there is a certain ideal weight that you should be at a certain age. And usually when you put on a lot of weight before you get pregnant, by the time you get pregnant, you're going to add more weight. So when you add that weight, it predisposes you to certain risks and pregnancy outcomes. You could give birth to a baby that is overweight. And this is the reason why most mothers these days are undergoing the C-section. It's usually because of their weight. They are overweight and they reach a point whereby they can't even have a normal delivery and they have to do a C-section. Yeah, so I would say before pregnancy, check your BMI. We've talked about the BMI in the previous nutrition sessions. This is where you go have your height measured and then you have your weight measured as well. Then they measure your weight over the height in meters squared. You get the BMI, and then there are specific cutoffs for the BMI. There are cutoffs for underweight, there are cutoffs for normal, and then there are cutoffs for overweight, and then there are cutoffs for obese. So if you check your BMI before pregnancy and it's in overweight, you can take certain measures through your diet and exercise to bring your weight back to normal.
So we're sending them to the hospital starting tomorrow. So now, on that very point, that is before pregnancy. Then he mentioned another thing that, how do you like where we put a tape?
The waist circumference.
To measure the waist circumference. After pregnancy, we've seen many people putting on weight after pregnancy. Does it in any way still cause any maybe complications after pregnancy?
So usually, after pregnancy, when you start breastfeeding, your body has a way it starts shedding off this weight. But for some women, it becomes constant. That's why we bring in the need for exercise after pregnancy. If you don't have any complications, if you don't have high blood pressure, you don't have any kidney disease, you don't have those complications that make it hard to exercise, I would usually advise follow a healthy diet and then do your exercises. That's how you go to the gym,
or even when they don't have money for the gym.
You know,
no, you don't need to go to the gym.
Doesn't mean you have to go
you
to the gym.
don't need to go to the gym. Personally, I do my workout at home. I have an app that I follow, but you can also use YouTube videos to do your workouts. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. Daniel, just in a minute as we have the show concluded, what do you have to say to the fathers in support of the pregnant women?
The fathers in support.
Yeah,
and those
like you.
Okay. They have been following us. What I'm going to summarize to the fathers is that let's encourage these mothers or mothers to be, because at last the product is going to be shared. The child that is going to come out of that pregnancy is going to be yours. If the child is not developed, let's say, I don't want to use a word like congenital or what, I want to say the brain is not developed well, you know what that means for the child that is having the brain which is not developed well. Of course, in class reputations and many other things. For the child with low immunity, you know that what that would mean to your family. Always you're going to be in hospitals. You get that? So that means you need to help these mothers, and you need, and then for everyone, let's use the right, the professionals are out there to guide us. So I would advise that we may not discuss everything here, and we may not break down everything here, but let's utilize the nutritionist outside there And this is key, and it's very important. The professionals are out there and they can help you really to maintain your health.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much, Faith. We're so much grateful as Bethan TV and our viewers. Thank you so much. I believe it's been, I would call it a class.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
just
an educative class.
An educative class. So thank you so much, those that have been very intentional to make sure that they learn something out of this. Maybe you're planning to get pregnant, or you are planning to marry or get married or something. You need all this kind of information for your future generation. We are Bethan TV for health, and this is Nutrition Spot every single Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. So why not wish you the best of the time. Till next week. Bye.